Have you ever sat alone at night, replaying the same conversation over and over? Like if you could just catch the one word you missed, you'd finally understand why she slipped through your fingers. Have you ever stared at the same message for an hour, half wanting to delete it, half hoping she'd reply and pull you back into the warmth you pretend you don't need anymore? Letting go of her isn't one decision. It's 1,000 tiny choices in a war that no one claps for you for winning. People say move on, like it's one clean cut. They say time heals, like time isn't the thing that makes you check your phone at 3 a.m., fighting the ghost of a reply that never comes. No one talks about the nights when your mind drags you back into the moments that made you stay, long after she stopped checking if you're still waiting. Nobody tells you that some loves don't leave when the person does. They live on like an echo in your ribs, humming under your skin, showing up in the soft places you didn't know she owned until she walked away. So how do you let her go when you know she's not coming back, but the part of you that needs her still stands by the door, hoping she will? You don't just drop her like a habit, you bury her, piece by piece, stage by stage. You hold the funeral while you're still alive, and maybe you've never heard it said that way because everyone pretends it's easy. But here's the truth you already feel in your bones. Letting her go is not about forgetting. It's about forgiving the part of you that stayed too long, too soft, too open. The first stage is brutal because it feels like a lie. It's the part where you tell your friends you're fine, you tell yourself you're fine, you delete the photos, block the number, convince yourself that if you don't see her, she can't haunt you. But she does. She sits in the songs that hit too hard on quiet drives. She slips into the faces of strangers who wear her laugh for a moment, just to remind you how easy it is to lose your breath over something you can't have again. So you drink, maybe, or you scroll, or you drown yourself in distractions that look like freedom but feel like a trap. And when the night comes and you're alone, she's there again, clearer than ever, soft as a ghost that doesn't ask permission to visit. Some men stop here. They live in this loop. They swear they're over her but can't say her name without tasting regret. They half move on but never really do. And that's the danger. If you don't bleed her out fully, she'll stay lodged like a splinter in your heart, poisoning every new love you try to build. So you have to move. You have to cross the second stage, the hardest part, the rage. The anger that says, how could she? The bitterness that tastes like courage but burns like acid. This is when you blame her for everything, for staying when she should have left sooner, for leaving when she promised she wouldn't, for breaking you in places you thought were untouchable. This is the stage where you hate her just enough to stay sane, but you hate yourself more for still wanting her under all that hate. It's ugly, but it's real. And it's necessary, because the anger you feel is your backbone waking up from the sleep it slipped into when you put her needs above your own. Let yourself rage, but don't live there. If you get stuck here, you'll become the man who punishes every woman after her for wounds they never made. You'll build walls and call them standards. You'll test loyalty and call it strength. You'll confuse being hard with being healed. You're not healed if you're still defining your worth by how much you can push love away. You're just afraid to bleed again, and that fear keeps her closer than any drunk text ever could. Then comes the third stage, the quiet grief. The mourning you try to outrun by pretending you're too cold to feel anything anymore. This is the stage no one wants to talk about because it's soft, and softness feels like weakness when you're trying to stand strong. But it's not weakness. It's the proof you're human enough to grow, because if you don't mourn her, really mourn her, you'll never forgive her ghost for staying when her body is long gone. This is when you'll wake up one morning and realize you haven't thought about her for an hour, then an afternoon, then a day. You'll slip, you'll check her page, you'll catch yourself wondering if she misses you too, and you'll feel the old ache in your chest, like a bruise you press just to feel something familiar. And then you'll breathe. You'll remember why she left, or why you did. You'll remember the nights you swallowed your voice to keep the peace, the mornings you carried the silence like it was yours to fix. You'll remember the weight she left behind, and you'll feel a strange relief knowing you don't have to hold it anymore. That's how you know you're in the fourth stage, the quiet freedom. The part where you don't hate her, don't love her the same way, don't chase the ghost she left behind. You just Let her rest. You let the version of you who needed her die too, so something truer can live in his place. And maybe, one night, you'll hear a song that used to belong to her, and maybe you'll smile instead of choking on the memory. Maybe you'll wish her well in your mind. Maybe you'll thank her for being the lesson that taught you where your boundaries live. Letting go of her isn't an act of revenge or bitterness. It's not cold detachment or forced nonchalance. It's an act of self-respect so deep that it becomes a quiet promise to yourself. Never again will I hold what doesn't hold me back. So if you're sitting there, phone in hand, fighting the old urge to check if she's watching, ask yourself this: do you really want her back? Or do you just miss the part of you that didn't know how to stand alone? Because that's what breaks a man's spine the fastest. Not the love he loses, but the love he can't give himself without needing her to approve it. You were whole before her, you're whole after her. And every time you stand in that truth, no message sent, no call made, no door reopened, you bury her ghost a little deeper. Not with hate, not with rage, not with cheap distractions, but with the quiet knowing that you survived, that your heart still beats steady, that you still laugh, that you can still look in the mirror and see a man who can love again, without begging, without losing himself to keep someone who never knew how to stay. So let her go, stage by stage, bleed, rage, mourn, breathe, and when the quiet comes, keep it, guard it, because the man you find in that quiet is the man she could never break, and no one else will ever own. And that's how you let her go, not to forget her, but to remember you. So when the world asks if you've really let her go, you won't need to say a word. The proof will live in the way your shoulders don't sink when someone says her name, in the way your eyes stay calm when her ghost drifts through an old song or an unexpected street. The proof will be the quiet in your chest that no goodbye could steal, the spine you rebuilt when you chose yourself instead of begging to be kept. Let her name be an echo, not a chain. Let her memory stay real, not poisoned by blame, not frozen like a shrine, just honest. Some doors close so better ones can open. Some goodbyes break you just enough to remind you how to stand when no one's left to hold you up. One day you'll see her name again, hear her laugh in a place she no longer owns. Feel that old pull for half a breath, then smile. You'll nod to the man you were, the one who stayed too long, and thank him for teaching you how to stand steady now. So let her go, guard your quiet, keep your calm, because the man who can stand alone in his own silence, unbent and unowned, can never be left behind again, and that is all the proof you'll ever need.